Yes.
Hello, friends. A very warm welcome and continuing with the series of taking up current affair themes, which are linked with not only static but also with the dynamic aspect. अब हम बात करने जा रहे हैं अलग अलग थीम्स और टॉपिक्स की, जिसमें हम देखेंगे कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ डेटा और व्हाट काइंड ऑफ क्लैरिटी और कितने कम शब्दों में हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा बता पाते हैं. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी आर टेकिंग अप द आइडिया, क्या सीबीआई एक इंडिपेंडेंट लीगल एंटिटी है? कौशिक.
No, sir, because it derives its power from DPSC 1956, and at the same time, it is under DOPT. That is, there is ongoing recommendation which has been given, such as the CBI should be given a statutory power under a separate act, just like NIA 2008.
Okay. So, what is the status of other such bodies in India? Say, for example, if I take NIA.
Yes, sir. So NIA is also under MHA, but it derives its power from the statute, that is 2008 Act, which uh, which gives it a more legal and more enforcing power. At the same time, tribunal NIA has certain kind of tribunal which can be established for fast processes, fast justice tribunal. And at the same time, NGT is there. It is a statutory body. CVC 2003 Act. It is a statutory body, but it is under the DOPT. And other bodies are ED, Enforcement Directorate, and NCB, Narcotics Crime Bureau. It is NSDP Act 1987. DRI is also there, Director of Revenue Internal, it is under Ministry of Finance. So several other bodies are there, but most important and most successful with respect to conviction rate, it is with regard to NIA, 99-95%, and it is more successful as compared to other bodies.
Okay, coming with the second fact, मैं आपको एक स्टेटमेंट बोल रहा हूँ, आप इस पर कमेंट कीजिए. किसी भी देश की शक्ति छोटे विचारों के बड़े आदमियों से नहीं, बल्कि बड़े विचारों के छोटे आदमियों से बनती है. ऐसा स्वामी रामतीर्थ जी ने कहा है. आई रिपीट, किसी भी देश की शक्ति छोटे विचारों के बड़े आदमियों से नहीं, बल्कि बड़े विचारों के छोटे आदमियों से बनती है.
Yes, sir. So, for example, if we are taking the example of both the countries, just like India, where Mahatma Gandhi and John Nehru, उनका सोच बड़ा था, और with regarding to the social reform, development, economic development aspect, another aspect, but at the same time, जो सोच था, for example, जर्मनी के जो चांसलर थे उनका during 1930s, it was very narrow, it was very parochial or very small. That is why Germany faced certain kind of a problems in 1939 और ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेशन हुआ था. तो एक एस्पेक्ट ये आता है. एट द सेम टाइम जो छोटे व्यक्ति, वी हैव टू डिस्क्राइब छोटे व्यक्ति विथ रिगार्डिंग टू कॉमन सिटीजन अगर खुद सोचते बड़ा, फॉर एग्जांपल स्टार्टअप में, या फिर दे आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन डेमोक्रेटिक प्रोसेसेस, तो उनसे भी देश बनता है. एट द सेम टाइम अगर सिटीजन अगर उसको लिया जाए, दे आर नॉट पार्टिसिपेटिंग एंड दे आर नॉट accustomed to all the processes, तो उससे अथॉरिटेरियन सिस्टम या फिर जो अनडेमोक्रेटिक उनका जीत होता है सोसाइटी का.
तो यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल हम डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम सर का भी ले सकते हैं कि उस टाइम पीरियड पे अगेन उनका विजन कितना बड़ा था फॉर इंडिया स्पेस सेक्टर. तो फर्स्ट रॉकेट के जो कंपोनेंट्स थे, दे वर कैरीड ऑन अ साइकिल. तो दैट शोकेसेस की विजन और जो आइडियाज कितने बड़े हैं. तो आपकी विल पावर और डिटर्मिनेशन चीजें ज्यादा ड्राइव करते हैं, बिकॉज हार्डशिप में देर आर मोर चांसेस ऑफ गेटिंग सक्सेस या फिर अकम्पलिशमेंट होना इन अ पर्टिकुलर आइडिया जो आप सोच रहे हो.
ओके, औशिक, आपने .com बबल मेनिया के बारे में पढ़ा होगा. .com बबल.
यस सर.
बताइए. जैसा आप 1929 के ग्रेट डिप्रेशन या ग्रेट क्रैश के बारे में बात करते हैं, वैसे ही .com बबल था.
Yes, sir.
So would you like to throw light on it?
Yes, sir. So 1929 crash was with regarding to the manufacturing and excess production of the goods in US and mortgage crisis to what US में with regarding to the loan that was given to the European countries after World War One. At the same time, the dot-com bubble, it is related to the financial sector, where all the financial service companies, for example, various dot-com based companies, Yahoo, Google, they were having an inflated value in the stock prices, and this led to the crisis in
So it
in
was
last
IT
of
companies,
20th century and
particularly
21st century, starting of 21st century. उस phase में.
from 1990s to early 2000
हाँ
के decade में we saw the pricing bubble. So it was IT companies, financial companies नहीं था particularly.
हाँ IT companies.
वैसे के मार्केट में था जो NASDAQ आज हम इंडेक्स मॉनिटर करते हैं, which is again for the IT industries, how the share prices are moving. So there was inflated prices and these were called as internet based companies also.
Okay, इसी context में अगर मैं आज की डेट में बात करूं, what kind of triple crisis can be there?
In this context, we have seen certain kind of activities across the globe. For example, trade protectionism,
बिल्कुल.
which second will be economic recession due to the Fed hike rate in the US. At the same time, crisis with regarding to the IT sector, that is breakthrough by the artificial intelligence and machine learning that will lead to the job losses in future.
And what about the stock market? That also correction is required. What do you think?
बैंकिंग सेक्टर बोल सकते हैं, बैंकिंग सेक्टर, कैपिटल मार्केट एंड फिस्कल मिसमैनेजमेंट ऑन द पार्ट ऑफ पब्लिक सेक्टर भी हो सकता है एंड कॉर्पोरेट्स बैलेंस शीट जो राइजिंग एनपीएज हैं. देयर आर 4 पिलर्स.
Okay. So going on further, when we see that certain developments are there with respect to center's goal of installing 250 million smart meters by 2025. So Ashik, smart meters and their relevance, or you can say their efficacy.
If we are talking about giving power supply to each and every household in the country, smart meter is required because it not only reduces the chances of corruption, at the same time, it also safeguards the grid from unwanted strain on the grid as well. At the same time, smart meter is also can be used to supply the excess power generated by the individual customer through PM Surya Yojana towards the grid so that they can earn a different income. So all these aspects will play a very important role in 100% electrification of the villages as well as the urban areas by 2025.
Also, it will be helpful in molding the consumer electricity behavior also when we talk about wastage of the electricity at the household level. So we'll be knowing beforehand that how much units are being consumed. So data monitoring can also be there, data analytics on the part of public sector also, that which areas or which time period pe which areas are consuming more of electricity. So the supply can also be managed then. So we can deal with the peak hour demands of the electricity, particularly during summers. And it can be again an important source of revenue.
In the context of even in the context of smart meters or even in the context of tokenized card transaction, do you think that as a part of the digital public infrastructure, they are in sync with the access and cost with the public?
Sir, it will be increasing more access because in that case, because it is the consumer who will be punching the code and then recharging the meter. So that would be done through, for example, the wallets. It can be through PhonePe or it can be through Paytm also. So it is in sync with the DPI of India, I would say so. In terms of
first,
cost, sir, cost in the sense like installation cost or like.
so first
हाँ जी
challenges
बोलिए.
with regarding to DPI, smart mobility card and smart meter is that only 10 to 5% of the Indian spend a lot of money with regarding to electricity. Other than that,
That's what I'm
uh,
saying.
basic amenities, one light bulb or even one fan is required for their survival. So that
Mm-hmm.
requires a very broad step. That requires a uh, very different step which should be taken by the government, sir, regarding subsidies, regarding to the electricity. At the same time, schemes such as solar roof, yeah, even PM Kusum can be a beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
So
जो हमारा इंडियन फेडरलिज्म है औशिक, उसमें 4 मोस्ट एस्टोनिशिंग सक्सेसफुल केस स्टडीज बताई.
say Indian federalism is a part of the basic structure, and it is very different as compared to US or UK. The most important four successful model is uh, creation of the state on the basis of administrative as well as linguistic in 1956. Second would be regarding the union and state list division, where cooperative federalism was promoted through GST Council with regard to taxation. Third would be inter-river dispute and National Development Council, that is for the long-term vision for the development of the states and the backward region. And so most important successful model is Rajya Sabha, where each state sends their own representative, where they can deliberate on the matters of federalism in Rajya Sabha through committees as well as through other methods such as question hour, jury hours. Yes.
So we can also say that implementation of GST it also showcases competitive and cooperative federalism and working of Finance Commission.
Okay. सोशल ऑडिट एमजी नरेगा का कैसे होना चाहिए औशिक कि वो सोशियो कल्चरल और बाकी जो डीप सीटेड जो प्रेजुडिसेस है उनको खत्म कर सके.
The social auditing, the meaning only states the inclusion of people at a very grassroots level. Jैसे if they are participating in a meeting, general body meeting of the Gram Sabha as well as Gram Panchayat, they can audit the Manrega at a very lower level. तो उसमें सोशियो कल्चर एलिमेंट, फॉर एग्जाम्पल if women are included in it or not, the role of civil society, NCW, as well as the local NGO can play a very important role. Third would be a role of the women and child development authorities that is present in the state level. They can also send certain kind of a recommendation to the Gram Sabha. Third would fourth would be a role of uh, Anganwadi and Asha with regard to social auditing. Then we can also include citizen welfare committee that is talking about the environmental perspective as well as
ठीक है.
tribal
इंडिया
land.
कतर डिप्लोमेटिक कॉनड्रम क्या बोलेंगे?
So Qatar is very important for India with regard to the West Asian region because India imports LNG, 50% of LNG, as well as most of Indian, they work in Qatar, approximately 5 lakh to 8 lakh. So conundrum is there. First of all, Qatar was even boycotted by the Western Arabic countries in 2017, and India is dependent on Qatar with regard to the LNG. At the same time, Qatar is not following India first which we can see during Nupur Sharma case. At the same time, OIC, role of Al Jazeera in interfering into the Indian election, etc. There is a conundrum. As the same, other aspect is safeguarding of labor rights in Qatar. 2,000 to 500 Indian had died during the Indian FIFA World Cup, and India was not able to do much for the workers in Qatar. So Qatar and India should
Red Sea,
serve.
Red Sea, Suez Canal, and the adjoining zone with respect to the sea lanes. Graphically describe कीजिए.
Yes, sir. Suez Canal is at top. It is connecting Mediterranean Sea to Red Sea. Red Sea is connected via Bab el Mandeb with Gulf of Aden, and across that region, Suez Canal is on Egypt, and nearby it is Sudan, then Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya. Kenya is in the bottom, and Horn of Africa is including the countries such as Ethiopia, Somalia, and Kenya. And above, Yemen is there, and even Saudi Arabia. Gulf of Aqaba is there near to the Red Sea, which connects Israel to Red Sea.
Okay. UNICEF report highlighting water stress impact on children. Comment.
So without water, humanity cannot survive. And for that, if children is not getting enough drinking water supply, then it will impact the cognitive ability as well as it will create all sorts of problem, malnutrition, undernutrition, stunting. And even India, one of the most water prone, water scarcity, approximately 36% of the Indian groundwater reserve has been exploited according to the Niti Aayog report. And with regard to that, women in the rural areas, they are having they don't have a potable water. They are moving towards they supply their water from distant area, which causes psychological distress as well as chance, as well as all other issues with regard to child and mother developers. So we can say that potable drinking water should be there according to the Jal Jeevan mission. At the same time, clean and drinking water should be supplied, which requires water harvesting and
Rapid ice melt in Antarctica. Rapid ice melt in Antarctica.
yes, sir. Antarctica ice sheet is global common. It not only protects the environment but also the intensity of the climate. Whereas we have seen over the years that western part, there's a western ice sheet of Antarctica is melting due to the sea level rise, ocean acidification, and climate change, and it is causing problem to the nearby small island, for example, near Argentina. Then it is causing changes in ocean current as well as it is also impacting the polar stratospheric cloud.
Okay. Mansi, you want to add something?
So the western part of the Antarctica, which is melting and breaking off, is like, for example, the Ross ice sheet is breaking, and then there is one Pine Island glacier. So these are breaking off and then melting. So accelerating the further melting down of the ice there.
Okay, what is REIT, Ashik?
The REIT
What is RE?
Real Estate Investment Trust, and
Yes.
it is basically a mutual fund for investment in the real estate. It is a real estate, for example, in development of the societies or even infrastructure, which is not generally private public
So
sector.
recently MCAP of all listed REITs and InvITs. What is InvITs, Ashik?
So InvIT is Infrastructure Investment Trust, and
Very good.
it is related to the it is like a mutual fund for creating of the durable asset. For example, public bridges, roads, railways, highways.
What kind of mechanisms do you think SEBI is having to fix the conflict of interest issues?
So to fix the conflict of interest issue, SEBI has directed that they should have a independent director in each of the trusts. At the same time, there has to be certain kind of mission and vision laid out in a very transparent manner. Grievances committee should be also be there, and fourth would be regarding voluntarily giving out the information of the asset of the chairman and as well as the uh, important executive. So that evaluation of the InvIT or
Taruna,
IIT could
Mansi,
be
want to add
very
something?
transparent.
Anybody wants to add something?
SEBI is also working upon at the same time regulations over the insider trading also. So we are having norms in order to timely disclose that if the employees they are into insider trading, so they have to disclose. Otherwise, it would be declared as illegal, and then penalty actions would be taken up.
Okay, Ashik, ILO report on occupational safety and health, I should say. ILO report on occupational safety and health. What you can say from the Indian perspective?
So occupational safety health hazard rules. It is part of whole code on labor security bill. That is code of social security, code on wages, and other aspect. But with regard to India, India has still not signed the basic convention regarding the operational safety of the ILO. And operation safety also includes various other challenges, for example, with regard to heat. Occupational. Yes, occupational safety also includes the various challenges with regard to ASHA worker as an Anganwadi worker during heat wave. And even election commission has also, some of the officials had died during the heat wave. It has also not included in that. So occupational safety hazard should include certain kind of activities so that they can assist, they can also get a social security benefit in a very effective manner, which is missing.
Okay. The next point comes up with respect to the understanding, or you can say, what should be the way forward when we say India needs new tools to measure inequality. What would you put here?
Yes, sir. So currently inequality is measured through wealth redistribution according to the Niti Aayog MPM, Multidimensional Poverty Index, on the basis of Tendulkar Agla Committee and World Bank report. At the same time, consumption based HCEI expenditure, they also play a very important role. Gini coefficient plays important role with regard to the measurement of the inequality. But we have to focus much more on that. For example, social inequality, then education inequality, learning poverty, we have to include nutritional poverty, we have to include, and at the same time, other dimension of gender as well as inclusivity should be promoted in inequality. It can include mental health, gender inequality, environmentally related issues, green budget. All these things will help to measure inequality as a very effective.
So one more graphical indicator that is used is the Lorentz curve for measuring the inequality. Apart from Gini coefficient, if we talk about the statistical measures.
Okay. UNESCO Creative Cities Network.
Yes, sir. So India has potential to achieve a lot of in creativity. For example, Kozhikode has been declared a creativity in literature, gastronomy for Hyderabad, Banaras, and even Jaipur for architect and other aspect. So creativity becomes very important for the urban development. It should be included. because without creativity, the whole human life or even the commuter life and their lifestyle would be very basic and very monotonous. So it gives a special touch, a human touch to the life. And how to promote creativity, UNESCO has talked about creation of the libraries, public consultation, even documentary, as well as use of art and culture for laying down the several aspects of it.
What is
So, sir,
the key findings? Okay,
there
once you can
we
add a bit more.
mentioned names of the cities. So, for example, Chennai is known as the city of music. It was declared in 2017. Jaipur is the city of crafts and folk art, and Hyderabad is city of gastronomy. So, these are like specialized namings and the developments also that we can focus upon.
What is the finding of Adaptation Gap Report 2023?
So adaptation gap report is uh, compiled by UNEP, and it says if the countries are adapting to the climate change mitigation or not. There is a difference. There is a gap between the adaptation of the climate adaptation by the countries as well as the target that they have set under the NDC with regarding to the each uh, country. For example, US has set for 2050, India had for 2070 climate neutrality, China for 2060. So there is a gap between the climate finance, between the NDC, then carbon marketing, as well as several other aspects, climate resilient infrastructure, etc.
Rise of patent applications in India, and on the top of it, I must share that recently, when there were no permanent government officers appointed for registering patents and it was outsourced to a company. So the recent status is that so many thousands of patents are now being invalidated. They cannot have any legal status because the officials who had done it, they were not government employees. Anyways, the aspect here is patent applications in India.
Yes, sir. So patent application, it is under the Act Patent Act 1971, and the several issues are there. For example, dedicated workforce is required, government official capacity building of them is required. At the same time, there is a very diversification of patent application. It is not like US, where it is only one agency for the patent application. In India, GI tag is different, patent, industrial design, and uh, copyright acts, etc. So there has to be some kind of a uniformity in giving patent. At the same time, IPR laws and IPR related convention, IPR related awareness among the citizens is also required, and its uniformed platform should be there so that everyone can access to the knowledges and also the processes how to file patent, which is missing in the gender knowledge.
In the financial year 2020 to 23, India saw approximately 66,000 patent applications. So this signifies the rising number. And for example, where we are seeing that pharmaceutical sector is an example where we are seeing different players like Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, other Cipla. So they are the active patent filing companies and organizations.
And China is
then
leading with 1.1 million patent per day till now. Till 1.1.
Okay. Convergence of wildlife crime and other forms of organized crime. Where is the meeting point? And what are the tools?
Yes, sir. So conversion is there with other form of crime, say money laundering, and tools is PMLA. Then role of local Gram Sabha, JX, Joint Forest Management Committee, and as well as the role of WCCB, Wildlife Control Board of India, Animal Welfare Board of India, and with regarding to the DM and IFS officers, as well as The home guard can be included in that to control the crime. Poaching. The role of technology can be included. For example, removing of horn from the rhinos as well as making the horn in a plastic manner. So it will also reduce the crime. So conversion is with regard to trafficking, money laundering, or organized crime, arms smuggling, and narcotics. Example, sandalwood in Andhra Pradesh, at the same time poaching of elephant in surrounding region, Kerala, Karnataka, in that region, Wayanad Century. At the same time, Assam, Polilporo, it is a hotbed for poaching of rhinos.
Okay. What do we think about the role of, EIL, Engineers India Limited?
So Engineers India Limited,
In what areas it is performing?
yes, so they will focus much more on capacity building of the present engineers in India. They will focus on giving certificate as well as setting standard with regard to all the degrees, civil engineering, electrical, and other aspect, and probably focusing on creating of the workforce that will be very suitable to the market-based demand of jobs.
You want to
so
say
it
that,
is PSU.
please?
It is a PSU,
Yes.
and the core areas of its operations includes consultancy services in engineering and designing of the infrastructure projects. Particularly, it is catering to oil and gas sector, petrochemicals, in project management, and then other construction services.
Yes, it is part of urban India, urban infrastructure,